So home buying, it's not exactly a simple process. Add in a language barrier or cultural barrier, and it takes a special kind of real estate agent to make the American dream accessible to everyone. And that's actually the mission of Nations Realty in King County. I talked to Kennedy Akinlosotu about how his own struggles inspired him to help others.
I came to this country in 1985, and I was going to school at the University of Nevada, Reno. So in 1987, I was taking a class. It's called Business Environment. And the professor said that in one of the classes, he said, you know what? You guys could buy a house with no money down. And I said, what's he talking about? So anyway, after class, I went to him. I said, look, how do you do this? And he said, well, I could show you how to buy a house with no money down. So I took him up on that. And I went to see a house on that same day at 8 p.m. I got there, and the realtor, the real estate agent, showed me around, and he put some paperwork. He said, you need to sign this. And I signed it. And he asked me to give him $1,000 deposit, and I did. I didn't know where I was going, but this whole thing took less than 5 minutes, looking at the house and signing the documents. So I went back to class the second day, and I told the professor, he said, well, you know what? Do you like the house? I said, yeah, it's okay. He said, why don't you go back there during the day? Make sure you like the house. So I went back there. The real estate agent met me there, and he said, you want to see this house again? I said, yeah. So he showed me around. Unfortunately, the house was terrible. I mean, we're talking of dry rot, mildew, and all kinds of things in this house. The carpet was bad. So I said, okay, I don't like this house. I told him. He said, well, because you signed the document and you will lose your $1,000. To me, at that point, $1,000 is like $1 million to me. So I said, okay. So I called the professor and I said, this is what happened. And fortunately for me, the professor was a lawyer outside too. He was practicing law, and he was able to get me out of this transaction. I was able to get my deposit back. So within 2 months, I went back to look for houses again with another real estate agent. And I was able to buy a house, and within 4 years, 1992, I sold the house and I made almost $50,000. So that's where I said, wow, this is a lot of money. So I said, okay, I will continue to do this. So in 1998, I decided to open up a company called Nations Realty. And our mission is to help people from different countries, because what happened to me in 1987 should not happen to people because of our culture, because of our language, because of all kinds of deficiencies. We shouldn't be going through this. So that was the reason I opened up Nations Realty in 1998.
I imagine that now you specialize, like you said, in helping specific kind of home buyer. Tell us more about what you do.
Well, what we do a lot of education. So we have a lot of real estate agents from different countries, from Congo, from Portuguese, from Germany, and from Nigeria. So we have people from different countries that will go to those communities and try to educate them about home buying process to make sure that they could speak to them in their own dialect. That's what we do.
What does the home buying process look like right now? I imagine it $1,000 won't get you into any home anymore.
No. But that's just a deposit. Right now, the market is so competitive. It's not fun for anybody. I cannot feel the pain for our community and those millennials. But there's still a way to get people into their own homes. We have a zero down program where you could put down zero. We have 1% where you could put down 1% or 3% down. The whole mission of NARA, National Association of Real Estate Brokers, is democracy in housing. I will give you a statistic. 2020, 45% African Americans have their own homes, compared to the Caucasians, 73%. That's a big gap. And that simply means if you don't have your own home, it's gonna be hard for you to build wealth in this country.
So are there any incentives to buying a home right now?
As a minority-owned company, Nations Realty, we are giving out $5,000 rebate to any home buyers, anyone. We want to help people at this point because the market is so crazy. So that $5,000 will help with closing costs, and you could get into your place so you don't have to ask the seller for closing costs, because that $5,000 will go a long way. We're helping people with their credit. If you have credit issue, if you don't know what to do, we could put you in our system. We will educate you, we will encourage you, maybe for a year, 2 years, no matter how long it takes. We want to make sure that we help you to get into your own home.
And to find out more about the rebate offered by Nations Realty, go to the website on your screen. Well, coming up next, I had so much fun during Hot Topics that I made my friends stick around. Plus, I'm hungry, so some better and a little snacking while chatting when we come back.
This portion of New Day Northwest is sponsored by Nations Realty, LLC.